Merchant and Sultan story. When time to death came near, father called his son Danpal and said, "Son, I do not have any wealth for you to inherit, but I have worked all my life with truth and honesty. So, I can only give you my blessings. I bless you that you will live a happy life. Even dust will become gold with your touch." Son bowed his head and touched his father's feet. Father blessed him by placing his hand on his head and gave up his life. Now, all the responsibility were on Danpal. He had to handle all the expenses of house. So, he started his business on small handcart. Slowly his business started growing and he opened a small shop. Business grew further. Now, Danpal was counted among rich people of city. Danpal always believed that it was all result of his father's blessings. Because his father never gave up his patience, faith, truth, honesty. Therefore, all his success was fruition of his father's blessings. Danpal would always say this again and again. One day his friend asked, "If your father had so much strength, then why did he suffer? Why didn't he use this to prosper himself?" Danpal replied, "I am not talking about power of my father, but talking about power of his blessings." Many years passed. Danpal started doing business abroad. Wherever he did business, he would make a lot of profit. One day it came to his mind, "I only benefit. So should I try to experience loss once?" So he asked one of his friend and asked him about a business which can cause him loss. Friend felt that Danpal had become proud of his success and money, so to remove his arrogance I should tell him a business that he will definitely suffer loss. He told him, "You buy cloves in India and load it in a ship and take it to sell in Zanzibar of Africa. Because Zanzibar is land of cloves, and from there cloves are brought to India and sold here at 10 to 12 times price. If you buy cloves here in India and then sell it in Zanzibar, then you will definitely suffer loss." Danpal liked his idea and bought cloves in India, packed them and loaded them in ship and reached Zanzibar Island. Zanzibar was ruled by Sultan. When Danpal was on his way to meet merchants of Zanzibar, he saw a person coming from front with soldiers. He asked one of those soldiers, "Who is this?" Soldier replied, "This is Sultan of Zanzibar." Seeing him in front, Sultan asked Danpal for introduction. Danpal greeted him and said, "I am trader from India and I have come here to do business." Sultan started talking to him. Danpal saw that soldiers were carrying big sieves instead of swords or guns. He was surprised to see this and politely asked Sultan, "Why are your soldiers carrying big sieves with them?" Sultan laughed and said, "Thing is, in morning I had come for a walk on beach and then one of my rings fell from my finger in the sand and I didn't notice it then. When I noticed that I lost ring, I came back with soldiers carrying sieves to filter sand to find my ring." Danpal said, "Ring must be very expensive." Sultan said, "No. I have countless rings worth much more than that, but that ring is a mystic's blessings, and I believe that my sultanate is so string, and happy with the blessings of that mystic. That's why for me the ring is invaluable." After saying this, Sultan asked, "What goods have you bought for trade?" Danpal replied, "Cloves." Sultan was surprised at his answer. He said, "This is land of cloves and you came here to sell cloves. Who gave you such advice? Surely that someone must be your enemy. Because here you can buy handful of cloves for a penny. Who will buy cloves from you? What will you earn?" Danpal said, "I have came to see whether I will be able to make profit here or not. Because with my father's blessing, whatever business I have done till now, I only made profit. So now I want to see whether his blessings will bear fruit here as well." Sultan asked, "Father's blessing? What does this mean?" Danpal said, "My father worked all his life with honesty and integrity but couldn't earn money. At time of his death, he blessed me by taking God's name that even dust in your hand would turn into gold." While saying this, Danpal bent down and took a handful of sand from the ground and opened his fist in front of Sultan and dropped sand from between his fingers. Both Danpal and Sultan couldn't believe their eyes. It was Sultan's lost ring in his hand. Sultan was very pleased to see the ring and said, "God made your father's blessing true." Danpal replied, saying, "God makes blessings of a mystic true." Sultan was happy and said, "I will give you whatever you ask for today." Danpal said, "May you live for 100 years and take care of your people well. People live happily. Other than that, I don't want anything." Listening to this, Sultan became more pleased and said, "I will buy your all goods and will give you the price you ask for." Moral: this story teaches that if you have blessings of your father Gelder, then no power in world will allow you to be defeated anywhere. There is not other asset like blessings. Therefore, always respect your elders. This is the greatest service of God.